in a world beneath the roots, where darkness whispers and tunnels stretch like veins through the earth. He was not the strongest, nor the fastest. But deep within his chest burned something no warrior could train for: fire, purpose, defiance. They said destiny is for queens and soldiers. But what if destiny chose a dreamer? This is the story of Ash the Golden, and who rose, a journey of heartache, betrayal, and the spark that lit a dying world. In the ruins of a forgotten colony, under the shadow of an ancient war, not to prove himself to others, but to answer the only voice that mattered his own. Ash was smaller than the other worker ants in his colony, but his golden shell made him stand out. The elders believed it was a sign of bad luck, something unnatural, while others dug, carried, and obeyed. Why do we fear the surface? Why are we never allowed near the broken gate? Why does no one speak of the flame burrow anymore? His curiosity was a burden until the day the sky cracked. A tremor shook the tunnels. Fumes poured in. The queen collapsed. Chaos erupted. While soldiers ran to defend the core, Ash stood frozen near the old records chamber. In that moment, the golden ant didn't run. The colony was dying, the queen gone, the royal guard broken. Ash escaped through a forgotten tunnel he once mapped during his wanderings. He didn't know where he was going, only that he had to go. Whispers of the first flames circled in his head. Stories his grandmother told him as a larva of golden ants who carried fire in their hearts, of a power that could light entire hives. Ash walked for days, his legs bruised, his shell scorched from tunnel fires. But the golden ant refused to stop. He met an old rogue named once, a soldier, now a bitter scavenger. Kale laughed at Ash's scarred shell and foolish mission. Something in Ash's eyes reminded him of the old world before it burned. In the drowned tunnels of the hollow vein, Ash and Kale fought through webs and poison gas. They rescued a young healer, Aunt Mira, whose entire hive. She saw Ash's glow and whispered, "You're real." For the first time, Ash felt like maybe he wasn't a mistake. But hope was short. Dash lived. At night, Ash tried to fight, but froze again. Kale was stung. Ash held him all night, tears soaking the dust. "I'm not the hero," Ash whispered. Kale groaned through fading breath. "Then become the one you need. Not for them, for you." The golden ant sat there, trembling, breaking in his chest again. Ash carried Kel's blade and Mira's map. They traveled through the fire nest, ruins where the last flamebearer was said to fall. They found nothing but ash and bones. Still, Ash knelt and placed his antenna to the scorched earth. It burned. A voice echoed not words, but memory. Fear, courage, failure, triumph. The ember answered. Fire crawled up his legs. But he didn't scream. He let it come. His scar split wide, revealing a glow inside his thorax. He was born with the spark. Not just any golden art. The last link to the ember line. Mira watched, stunned. You're not just marked by fire. You are the fire. Word spread. Quickly the Blightborn Queen had risen once more in the north. She moved like a plague, feeding on living colonies and turning ants into hollow husks. Fear gripped the tunnels, but from the shadows stepped Ash. He did not call warriors. He called the forgotten, the broken, the ants left behind. He gave them not weapons, but belief. The golden ant marched toward the heart of Ruinda, fire in his chest, silence on his tongue. When they arrived, chaos exploded. Ash broke through the queen's swarm and stood alone before her. She hissed, "You are a spark." Ash, the golden ant, didn't answer. He stepped forward, light radiating from his scarred body, flames dancing around his legs. The corridors lit with golden fire. The battle ignited. Ants surged with him. Some fell. Others rose with strength. Ash struck the queen's core. Her shriek shook the stone. And just like that, storm fell silent. Ash, the golden ant, stood atop the shattered throne. Around him, Ash's aunt, friend survivors. The tunnel was quiet now, filled with embers and echo. The golden ant looked down, not proud, not triumphant. One of the younger ants stepped forward and asked, "What do we do now?" Ash, the golden ant, replied, "We remember who we are. We rebuild together, and when the darkness comes again, we become one." A single golden ant had changed everything. Not because he was the strongest, not because he was chosen, but because when fear told him to hide, he stepped forward. The fire wasn't in the embers. It wasn't in the tunnels. It had always been inside Ash, the golden ant. And that same fire lives inside every ant brave enough to rise.